You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. One of the issues that he kept talking about last night in the speech dealt with the economy, taxes, the impact of that. I want to bring in now Dr. William Spriggs, of course, who is an economist with the AFL-CIO, Howard University. Doc, it was interesting. Senator Tim Scott said in his response that, if Biden increases your taxes, wages are going to go down. Biden was very specific. The taxes he wants to increase on corporations, 21 to 28%, and going back to the Bush level tax cuts that were just in place 4 years ago. I'm trying to figure out how in the hell is that going to drop wages?
Well, we were promised that with the tax cut that came in place that gave billions of dollars to the richest corporations and richest individuals, that would lead to tax breaks for them, wage increases for us. And the promise was that wages would accelerate. So that's what Scott is talking about, except we gave billions of dollars, and exactly as Joe Biden said, the wages that went up were for the CEOs. They took the profits and ran. They didn't share it with their workers. This is why we had workers organizing in Bessemer, Alabama, because not only did that windfall help Amazon, but then the way in which COVID shut down their competitors gave Amazon trillions in wealth. And what do we see? They still had to fight for decent wages. They still had to fight for a safe place at work. And so, as Biden made clear, trickle down doesn't work. And this was amazing to have an American president finally say in clear language, trickle down doesn't work.
Well, in fact, he also made clear that that when we talk about these corporations, they said we ain't using that money to invest back in the companies. We're going to buy stock back. They said it. They were very clear.
Well, and they did, which is part of the reason why CEO pay went up, because that increase in stock price directly goes to their compensation. But more importantly, I think, was the challenge that he now put to fiscal conservatives, because they passed that tax cut and said, we don't care that it's creating $2 trillion in deficit. We don't care. It's going to pay for itself. But he put forth a program and said, I'm not going to increase the deficit. I'm going to take back your tax cut because America can afford clean water. America can afford for mothers to be able to have paid time off. America can afford for its children, like the rest of the children in the industrialized world, to have access to quality daycare. And for seniors to have access to quality end-of-life care. We can afford it. Here's how I'm going to pay for it. Now, here's the debate. It's paid for. It's not a deficit thing.
So when the critics say Biden's his tax plan cannot pay for all the things that he's saying, you say that is incorrect. It can.
It can and it does. It's paid for. It's paid for. The money that went to buy back stocks, the money that went so that CEOs could double their pay relative to their average worker, America can afford to have the things it needs to have an economy that can sustain itself and grow in the 21st century. We can afford that as this nation. We just gave the money to the wrong people.
Last question for you. In terms of trying to push through the infrastructure bill do black folks benefit?
Well, this portion of the bill is the one that has the greatest benefit for black families because the majority of black workers are women. And this addresses key issues that prevent women from having decent earnings. One, by changing the wages of daycare workers, which therefore changes the wage that women can offer, right? Because if I'm guaranteed $15 an hour by being a child care worker, this ups the ante if you're Amazon. Because I'm not going to be working in your Bessemer plant with you monitoring every time I go to the bathroom if I can get a job for $15 an hour being a daycare worker. So this changes the reference wage for women. It gives women access to quality child care for their children, which is what black women have always lacked, was access to quality child care for their children. This has always been the negative equation for black women that they had to deal with. How can I take care of somebody else's child when I can't take care of my own? This has always been the economic conundrum of how to get ahead. Paid leave so that all workers are going to be guaranteed that, most important for women. And the fact that we're going to have a refundable child credit so that every month, not every year like with the earned income tax credit, but every month that mother will know, how am I paying for the child care? Because that credit is going to come to her and she knows where the money is going to come from to pay for her child care. So it's revolutionary when you think about what this does to free up black women's labor force participation, which already was higher than for white women anyway.
All right, then. Dr. Bill Spriggs, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.